Another day, another few tons of rubbish. Across the country, everything put into recycling bins ends up at a plant just like this.
We've been on a great journey in the UK over the last 20 years because we've gone from 5 or 6% recycling, we were landfilling nearly everything, up to about 50% recycling and composting. So we're doing quite well. It's really a question of what do we do next to get that other 50% or to see how further we can go in recycling.
The rubbish goes on to be sorted, separating out cardboard and paper, metal, glass and plastic.
And this is a final quality check.
Veolia works with councils nationwide, including in Birmingham, Shropshire and Staffordshire.
This is the plastics belt. It's mixed plastic.
A major issue for all waste disposal companies is that the UK is running out of landfill space. And plastic materials can only be recycled a limited number of times before they become unusable. That means they're having to devise innovative new ways to deal with rubbish without burying the problem.
All of this has arrived here this morning. This plant alone deals with over 1,000 tonnes of recycling every single week. But one of the biggest problems is plastics. And just because something's marked as recyclable doesn't always mean what you think it does.
Some packaging might technically be able to be recycled, but what works in a lab isn't always as easy in practice.
The real difficult thing is something that we don't know what it is. So if it's not labelled or it's not clear what the material is made from or it's made in a very special way that makes it unique, that will be difficult to recycle. We're looking to make recycling mainstream. And if we want to go mainstream and we want to make this part of the normal economic process, we need to maybe use more defined materials. Plastics is not really the enemy here. The enemy is not recycling it.
You're saying that plastic isn't the enemy, but you're making money off the waste products. Are you guilty of encouraging people to use plastic for your own gain? You're making money off plastic waste.
Well, our job is to solve an environmental problem. If we weren't using plastic, we'd use another material, maybe metals or glass. Those materials are very energy intensive and require a lot of water and power to make them. So it's about getting the right balance. You know, maybe we can use a bit less plastic, maybe a bit more even, if we want to be really efficient. So I think it's a good debate to have, but we just need to think about what we're trying to get to.
At this plant in Rugby, they've developed another answer. Any waste which is too low grade or low value to be recycled by other means is churned into a specially designed mulch. It's then packaged and sold as an alternative to fossil fuel. 1.5 tonnes of this produces as much energy as 1 tonne of coal.
The benefit is there's low carbon emissions. Obviously, we're not having to source fossil fuels externally into the UK, and it's better for the environment all round. It puts waste to good use, and it eliminates any need for waste to go to landfill.
It's also an issue of concern for the government. Rugby MP Mark Pawsey is chairman of a parliamentary committee focused on packaging manufacturers. They want the industry to start taking their responsibilities seriously.
There are some products where there are challenges in recycling, and one of the big issues is black plastic trays. You will see from this plant as you walk around that the conveyor belts are black and the detectors are not able to distinguish the black plastic. I think it's probably about time for the food service industry to change the colour of those containers, and then a higher proportion of them will be recycled.
He's also calling for different councils to coordinate their recycling policy. Making the system less confusing, he says, might help push recycling rates above that 50% mark. Charlotte Cross, ITV News.